complaining are weapons that kill kinship, affection, and love. Siefing, feeling resentful, unsatisfied with doing things, dissatisfied with your results, negativity, and blaming others is grumbling. Dissatisfaction with the status quo and results, never accepting anything as being one's own fault, but rather blaming other people's faults for causing unsatisfactory results, thus complaining and blaming others and letting them bear any and all bad consequences is complaining. Once you feel resentment in your heart, you will feel that the world is unfair, that everyone owes you, and that you have paid but not received fairly, which makes you unhappy, angry, and wanting to lash out in passive, negative, and pessimistic language, emotions, postures, movements, and the like are grumbling and complaining. The consequences of grumbling and complaining are very serious. To your parents, they can result in your losing their love for you. To your children, they can cause you to lose their filial piety. To your spouse, they can lead to divorce. To siblings, they can cause your relationships with them to break down. To friends, they can cause your loss of friendship with them, even turning it into enmity. To the ancestor of Buddha, the greatest creator, they can cause you to lose your spirituality. To gods, Buddha, celestials, and saints, they can send you into darkness. To superiors and bosses, they can get you demoted or fired from your job. To your colleagues, they can cause you to lose their help when you need it. To society, they can drive you to despair. To spirits, they can lead you to disasters. Therefore, grumbling and complaining are weapons that kill kinship, affection, and love. Besides, they will make oneself toxic and lose their spiritual light, will bury hidden dangers and disasters along one's way forward, will make one lose their demeanor, temperament, morality, beauty, will create countless obstacles and thorns to oneself, and will put one into vicious circles of negativity, passivity, and pessimism which will get worse with time until one's bright future gets destroyed. Grumbling and complaining are very harmful, and they do nobody any good. An ambitious, emotional, and caring person is not afraid of difficulties, hardships, suffering, hard work, facing desperation, or bearing heavy burdens. But they are always afraid of being grumbled and complained at by the people who are closest to them, especially by their relatives and friends. Once they are exposed to these negative individuals, they will gradually lose their confidence and courage, become frustrated, dispirited, lose patience and love. Their soft tempers will gradually become irritable, and they will gradually lose their reasonability. Therefore, grumbling and complaining are crimes. They spoil good atmospheres, bring waves to calm waters, and destroy all good things. Let me give some examples of grumbling and complaining. My parents didn't give me a conducive environment for my growth. Kid, why do you disappoint me so? Heaven is unfair to me. Were it not for you and this family, I would live much better than I do. If there really were a greatest creator, there would not be such cruelty in this world. The reason I was fired was not because I was incapable, but because my boss was short-sighted and failed to recognize my talent. I am sad because the place into which I have poured all of my body and soul offer me no warmth or solace. There is no true love or affection in this world. My mother's door is the only one that is always open for me. Were it not for you, I would not have become so wretched. Were it not for you, I would not have become as evil as I am. Those are some examples of grumbling and complaining. All stylites should rid themselves of their emotions and psychology of believing those ways. Once you stop it and replace those attitudes with affirmations and praises, then all good things will come your way, the rough wind and rain will gradually cease, and the bright sun will shine on the road in front of you. How does one get rid of grumbling and complaining? Remember this Chanyuan value. The world is faultless. All faults lie within us. When you believe that you are treated unfairly, are suffering, overworked, having to overendure, are abandoned by others, are suppressed, or feel unhappy or desperate, remember that none of these things are caused by the injustice of the ancestor of Buddha, the greatest creator, the inaction of gods, Buddha, celestials, or saints, the injustice of society, too many bad people in the world, or that others are misunderstanding you. The root of the problem is definitely not in the outside world, but in you, yourself. To understand the deeper meaning of this value, please read the relevant expositions of this in Chanyuan corpus and Siefeng corpus. Heaven is in the palm of our hands. Siefeng. Heaven is not unattainable. It rests within our grasp. If we live in worry, pain, anxiety, sorrow, and fear, then we are living in hell. Conversely, a life filled with happiness, joy, freedom, bliss, and contentment is like living in heaven. Why choose to live in hell when heaven is an option? Some might argue, I don't wish to live in hell, but heaven seems far beyond reach. Let me guide you down the path to heaven. Give it a try and see if it holds true. If it doesn't, feel free to call me a charlatan. But if it does, then perhaps you'll find me to be a truthful soul. Chasing wealth, power, fame, profit, and desire will lead you towards hell. Yearning for possession, hoarding resources, and seeking control over others will also steer you in the same direction. If you aspire to glorify your ancestors, be envied as a superior being, climb the social ladder, or achieve immortality, you are on the path to hell. Constantly believing you are right and others are wrong, grumbling incessantly, and finding fault with everything around you is a one-way ticket to hell. If you perch on the moral high ground, preaching goodness while failing to practice it yourself, or worse, living a double life, you are bound for hell. In essence, selfishness and obstinacy are the hallmarks of a life lived in hell. So, how does one reside in heaven? The answer is simple. Embrace selflessness and let go of ego, and you will find yourself in heaven at every moment. Is there proof? Indeed, there is. Ask those who dwell in the second home established by Lifa Chanyuan, known as the Chanyuan Celestials. Most will affirm they live in heaven. Live in heaven now, and after a lifetime, you will find your place in heaven. Live in hell now, and you will descend into hell thereafter. This is called biological inheritance, also called life inheritance. See, isn't heaven right in the palm of our hands? Our future lies squarely in our own hands. Your wishes shape your life. Siefeng. There's someone who always complains. He complains about others not caring for him, about their selfishness, and about the unfairness of society. His life is a mess, disorganized, and he wishes for a complete overhaul of society. He hopes that the frightening prophecies of seers from all times and places will come true soon. I asked him, what kind of life do you actually want to live? It turns out, he couldn't describe what kind of life he wanted, or give a clear picture of his future life scenario. Now, I ask you, the reader, what kind of life do you want to live? Can you clearly describe the detailed and specific life scenario you wish to live? I'm confident that 90% of people have never really thought about the kind of life they truly need. Even among those who have, their ideas are often impractical or full of contradictions. Have you noticed the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters in recent years? Have you observed the escalating tensions of the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Palestine conflict, the chaos in Haiti, and the intensifying civil unrest in Sudan? Have you recognized that a major country is on the brink of a severe economic depression? And have you seen the increasing number of prophets whose predictions are alarmingly accurate? I can tell you with certainty that all of this is the result of the collective wishes of the people. Why are some prophets' predictions so precise? That's because the collective wishes have not changed. Once the collective wishes change, everything will change, all prophets' predictions will fail, and all prophecies will go bankrupt. You must all be aware of the 4 lessons of Liao Fan. The life of Yuan Liao Fan was accurately predicted by a fortune teller, but later, after being guided by a wise man, Yuan learned the principle that one's destiny is created by oneself, and one's fortune is sought by oneself, and the fortune teller's predictions went bankrupt. Laozi spoke of an unveiled mystery. The Tao is very fair, and it will fulfill everyone's wishes. Whatever your wishes are, you will live the life you wish for, but the wishes must comply with the laws of nature. For example, our wishes cannot be like this. My wish is to plant a walnut tree, but I don't want it to bear walnuts. I want it to bear gold. Such a wish does not comply with the laws of nature. I ask, what are your wishes? What kind of life do you really want to live? I want to warn humanity that if our wishes do not change, then the laws of social development will not change, natural disasters will intensify, and human society will become more turbulent and unstable, and the prophet's predictions will come true. However, if our wishes change, If they change towards the Xiefeng-style communism, then natural disasters will gradually subside. Humanity will gradually move towards peace and auspiciousness, and everyone will live a heavenly life. All the predictions of historical and contemporary prophets will fail. Do not wait for gods or Buddhas to save you. Do not wait for some galactic alliance to save you. It is precisely us who save ourselves. Honey and bitterness. Which one do you choose? Xiefeng. Culture is the lifeblood of a nation's social functioning. If the blood contains viruses, the society cannot operate healthily and individuals cannot attain a happy life. Let's dissect some cells in culture and see if these cells carry viruses. There's fragrance from the plum blossom, originating from the bitter cold. Without experiencing bone-chilling cold, how could the plum blossom be so fragrant? Pressure is the driving force for progress. Setbacks urge people to advance. Don't guide children, let them face setbacks and stumble a few times to become strong. Heaven sends down great responsibilities to someone, but first it makes their tendons and bones toil, their hearts suffer, and their bodies starve. Are the above perspectives correct? Let's analyze them from the perspective of human nature and facts. Let's consider praise, encouragement, compliments, sweet words, smoothness, good fortune, auspiciousness, and health as honey, and bitterness, pressure, poverty, setbacks, hunger, setbacks, criticism, ridicule, humiliation, and disabilities as metaphorical bitterness. From a human nature perspective, people will definitely choose honey over bitterness. If someone chooses bitterness over honey, then there must be a malfunction at the spiritual level. From a factual standpoint, have you noticed that almost all fruits, once a certain part is bruised, that part is more prone to decay and rot? As long as fruits are not bruised, they last longer, and the probability of decay and rot is lower. Bruising indicates that the fruit has been struck and faced setbacks. This proves that setbacks and blows are not good things. If this is how fruits react, then how about humans? How will people be affected by external setbacks and pressures? It is said that someone conducted an experiment by separating two plants of almost the same size and growth condition. One of them was treated with phrases like, "You are very beautiful. You are so beautiful. I love you. I really like you." While the other one was treated with phrases like, "You are very ugly. How could you look so disgusting? You are about to die." After a period of time, the plant that was frequently praised and encouraged grew lusher, while the one constantly subjected to defamation, cursing, and criticism gradually withered and lost vitality. If this is how plants react, then how about humans? Will people who are frequently praised and encouraged become healthier and more beautiful in spirit? Or will people who are constantly insulted and slandered become mentally healthy? Everyone has attended primary school. Have you noticed that some desks are full of scars? The reason is that some students hit it the day before, some students carve it with a knife, and some students knock it over. Over time, this desk becomes battered, shaky, with pockmarks on the surface. If a person frequently experiences hits, carvings, and shaking, will they become more perfect, or will they become scarred? In psychology, there is a Pygmalion effect, which tells us that people tend to develop in the direction shaped by the masses. If everyone says, "You are full of love," this person will be full of love. If everyone says, "You are full of hate," this person will be full of hate. If everyone says, "You are a great person," the probability of this person becoming a great person will be high. If everyone says, "You are a scum," this person will inevitably move towards becoming a scum. Fruits, flowering plants, desks, and the Pygmalion effect tell us that it is more beneficial to praise and encourage people than to vilify and degrade them in order for a person to grow healthily and beneficially in society. My personal experience also proves that honey is better than bitterness. I have lived my whole life surrounded by people's love. As a child, adults always said, "This child is smart." When I went to elementary school, the teacher praised me as the phoenix in the sky. At 18, I was appointed as the head of the village. During high school, technical school, college, and university, I was almost the class monitor every semester, and during my time as a high school teacher, I was worshipped by my students as King Geezer. Especially during my more than 10 years as a guide in Life at Chanuan, I was praised by the members every day. My entire life has been spent growing up in a honey jar. I ask you, have I become bad? In fact, the reason why I created Life a Genuine and the second home, besides the laws of nature, is an undeniable factor of being loved by people. I deeply feel the kindness, loveliness, and respect of people and the beauty of life. Therefore, making people live better has become my heartfelt activity. The growth experience and current situation of my child are also evidence. From a young age, I mainly praised and encouraged him, rarely giving him pressure or disparagement. What are the results? The result is a sound mind, ability, and capacity. He is good at handling relationships between people, and wherever he goes, he finds good teachers and helpful friends. He recently called me to say that they were going to travel to the UK and Italy and live in Thailand for a while. When I asked if there were any difficulties, he said, "Dad, don't worry. It's all invitations from friends, and we have friends looking after us everywhere." Not long ago, I also gave him a bit of mesmerizing potion, saying, "Son, you're really amazing. I have also experienced setbacks, deceptions, and blows, and have tasted bitterness. But the bitterness left in my heart is always a scar, an indelible scar, a forever ugly side of society and humanity. Whenever I think of the bitterness I have tasted, what arises in my heart is not love and compassion, but hatred and cruelty. So, I found, heaven sends down demons to test someone, but first it makes their hearts suffer, their tendons and bones toil, and their bodies starve. One fact cannot be ignored. There is no bitterness in heaven. People who live in heaven enjoy the beauty of life, while hell is full of insults, oppression, deception, cruelty, setbacks, and repression. Have you seen any ghosts evolving into celestial beings or Buddhas? Does the fragrance of plum blossoms come from hardship? Who can prove that the fragrance of plum blossoms comes not from the genetic structure of plum blossoms themselves, but from the invasion of severe cold? Must plum blossoms suffer hardships to emit fragrance? There are also plum blossoms in the thousand-year world, but they have not suffered the torture of severe cold. Why are they still as fragrant as ever? Therefore, my viewpoint is, more praise, less blame. More encouragement, less setbacks. Let people have fewer pressures and setbacks in their lives, and more smooth sailing and beautiful sunshine. From another perspective, life is just a few short decades. Many people bid farewell to the world in their teens, 20s, and 30s. In this short time of fleeting existence, why make people suffer and toil their minds, bodies, tendons, and bones? Even if you grow up in bitterness and become an emperor, a wealthy person, or a star, isn't life still an illusory bubble? So, let people live sweet lives in honey jars. Let's speak sweet words to each other. Have any of you smelled foul odors in a flower house? Have any of you smelled the fragrance of flowers in a pit latrine? Have any of you seen kind-hearted people insult, deceive, attack, ensnare, or harm others? Have any of you seen morally bankrupt individuals praise, inspire, and treat others with sweet words? So, I ask, honey or bitter water, which one would you choose? How does the world treat you? Siefing, if you want to know how the world treats you, first ask yourself how you treat the world. The sun gives you light and warmth every day. How does the world treat you? Do you show gratitude to the world for the light and warmth it gives you? The earth produces the food, vegetables, fruits, and grains you need. How does the world treat you? Do you appreciate and cherish the earth that takes care of you? The greatest creator has given you eyes to see the road ahead and appreciate the beauty of nature. How does the world treat you? Do you show gratitude to the greatest creator and cherish everything you have? Nature nurtures us